I'm unsurprisingly, a lot of people wrote in Horseman questions. I'll get to quite a lot of them as much as we can a little later. Just before we move off Southwest, who owns the Southwest Library now?
Not a clue.
Really? I thought it would either be. Did you have any idea that you could sell it to Vince, or
It was. I think my dad sold it to somebody. I do not know. Um, that was in a very very uh, down part of our lives because my brother had just gotten killed in 1978, and it was just catastrophic. And our territory was good, then it was bad, and without getting into a whole lot of extracurricular gaga and people that said things and were bad partners and bad the wrestling business still is the television business. And if you had good TV time, people would come to your arenas. And even though TV is the product now rather than the arena shows, if you got ratings, people will still come to the arenas. And that is the thing that we needed. And when our partner took our TV time in San Antonio and Corpus and all around and gave it to World Class, it killed our business, and we couldn't pay for the USA cable outlet anymore. And so when our bill got to be high enough, Vince went in and paid our bill and took the TV time. And
so Vince actually, because that was actually going to be my follow up question. Is so before I actually get to the follow up question, how did your dad get onto cable in the first place? Because he's one of the very first before Vince who made it onto cable and was seen nationally at the time.
Yes, he and I wasn't there quite all the time in those negotiations, but when the USA Cable Network started, they we had a TV marketer that reached out to them, and I mean, it wasn't USA saying, "Hey, come be on our network." It was, "Hey, we'll sell you an hour of TV time."
It's almost like advertising. They sort of worked it like you were not telemarketing, but what was the late night advertising kind of thing?
Yeah, but our thing was on at Sunday at 12 noon.
Oh,
And that's what we tried to be, because people, you were either in church or watching wrestling. and it was a thing that we had great ratings, but we could only pay the 7,000 a week for a while. And when that got to be too heavy to where we couldn't run the territory anymore, that's when things really started to fall apart.
Man, that's huge. 7,000 a week as well in those days, crikey. Were you in an ironclad contract as well? So you couldn't just say, look, we can't afford this anymore. Were you under contract, you had to pay it, essentially?
Well, we ended up owing them like 120, 30, 40,000. I wasn't really in that part of everything. I was more in tune with being talent related, booker related, running, making sure that we filled buildings and that kind of stuff. So, but it was a monstrous loss for us, and there was none of the other promoters that wanted to help be on that. And probably after the next year, and Vince got on there and started expanding. And when Crockett got on Turner, and they started expanding. Then all the local promoters were put out of business in since, and but it changed everything, and it is what it is. And
just to clarify, so did you say that Vince actually paid off the entire bill then to get the slot?
I think that's the way it was. He paid the bill, but he got the TV time.
Wow.